Yo, this is the Ancient Texan. It's Saturday, the 22nd of May. I'm reading here that Rick Santorum has just got fired. He claimed that white settlers, when they got here to America, really found nothing, and that the Judo Christian Moses, Jesus um, religion uh, was responsible for founding um, the American government. What kind of puts him in hot water is this idea that American white settlers, as white dudes, found nothing in America. I think that probably should be white settlers appreciated no one but themselves, and they destroyed what they found when they got to America without giving it much chance to see what they could learn from Indians. They considered themselves superior. Christianity to be superior to their religion. In fact, probably like most Americans, they had no idea what the religion was of Native Americans. And I would say that even today, we don't know much, the average American, about Indians. In fact, we don't know much about anybody except ourselves. And that circle is usually pretty small. It's about, if you live in Indiana, you know about people 50 miles from you, and that's about it. Americans think they are elite and superior and more important than the rest of the world. So, of course, that isn't all of us, but it's enough of us that I think it comes out in our behavior and our words, and it's going to creep out from inside of us because that's what we believe. How do you get humility and change your attitude? I think you've got to rub elbows and be around and be exposed to people outside of your circle, outside of your cult, outside of your tribe. Um, and increasingly in America, that's hard to do because we all stay with our tribe. So, Rick Santorum, um, he obviously didn't understand what he said and the significance of it, because when he tried to explain it, he got all bogged down in explaining how he's talking about the forming of our government, not America in general. But he wasn't able to see that his comments were in poor taste and at best very poorly worded, and kind of implies the supremacy of white settlers with the Christian religion. Anyway, that was our friend Rick Santorum. He got fired at CNN. Who knows? I think he probably can find a job over at Fox. Fox has a little different standards. On the Israeli Palestinian front, we have a ceasefire. The Palestinians killed a dozen or so people, and the Israelis killed 20 times that amount. The usual in their conflict. Has anything changed? I don't think so. The U.S., they seem to only care about our military position with Israel and us being supportive of Israel. I don't think there's any moral position or issues changed. Uh, Life of Palestinians in Gaza, in particular, is still going to be tough. They're behind the fence, and their going and comings are controlled by Israel. Israel, God gave Israel apparently the authority to decide when the Palestinians have um, their own country and their own ability to control their future, self determination. Americans apparently don't believe that for Palestinians, and they don't put their money where their mouth is. And I think we're gutless wonders on that. We care about power. Israel gives us power. On to another story. In Idaho, conservative lawmakers in Idaho and Montana have passed laws to drastically reduce wolf population, killing 90% of the wolves in the state. Last year, they killed something like 120 cattle out of 2.7 million cattle. So the ranchers want them killed. Elk herds supposedly are still about the same population and more healthy, but there are claims by the legislature that the elk population is reduced too much by wolves. Uh, the fish and game the people opposed the law, but the legislature said the fish and game people needed help. And so they helped them with a new law. They also allow night goggles, chasing wolves with, like a snowmobile and mechanical, and basically run the wolves down to exhaustion. And they allowed all sorts of new snare traps. And their goal is to annihilate 90% of the current wolves. Idaho's Department of Fish and Game opposed the bill. Lawmakers said, we have to get this in check. A guy named Moon. All due respect to Fish and Game, they need our help. They are ignorance, what he's saying. Fish and game people who study this their whole life and it's their career don't understand these things. But us legislatures, people, we're smart dudes. We got it. Besides, there's a big rancher lobby and big gun lobby, ATVs, makes big bucks here. Montana's doing similar things. I don't know. It's disturbing to me. I kind of believe in Mother Nature being quite a bit smarter than us humans. I think nature will figure it out, and, nature does not include humans with high powered rifles because we've already proven we can wipe out any species we want to. And we do. It's kind of the general pattern that our grandchildren will probably not see lions and elephants and wolves and all those kind of neat balance systems. Just like in Texas, like has 20 million something deer, and right here in Maryland, we have a lot of deer. And there's nothing here to eat them. Not even a, coyote can even take a deer down every once in a while and keep the weak. We don't even have coyotes here. We basically eradicate everything with our guns. Anyway, that's a little piece of news that I'm not happy with, and I don't know any more about it than the state legislatures. But I do have a belief in Mother Nature kind of knows best. So I'm sticking with that. That's the ancient Texan. That's what he thinks about that. One last little comment about the news. Um, there's a new app. I don't actually know if it's new. It's it's new to me, called Clubhouse. Apparently, they had and still are having a 6-day conversation on Palestine, Palestine, Palestinian Israel conflict. Both sides talking in this audio app. Uh, and one of the commentators had been on there 3 straight days, both sides talking back and forth, heated sometimes, angry, but talking and listening from both sides. That actually sounds pretty awesome to me. Sounds painful, sounds provocative, but I'm not sure there's any other way to get agreement on something that has existed for so long. So I'm going to check out that app, Clubhouse. It's got people come together to talk about subjects, and you can do private conversation just between you and whoever the hell you want to have a conversation with, or you can open up that conversation to the public, which is what they did. And it has grandmas and activists and everybody kind of getting together and talking. So if you think that kind of thing might be helpful to our society and to the world, to be talking to each other, what a concept. Democrats and Republicans should get on the Clubhouse. That would be scary. Democrat and Republican politicians ought to get on the Clubhouse. That's radical. And then put it up to the public and listen to them if they could ever get past their buzz lines. See, the thing though, that these go on for hours and days. First, I don't see many politicians care that much, or at least that's probably not fair. But it's always seemed to me they want to make sure they say the right buzz phrase, not actually solve any problem. That's my opinion. But in this one, you've got to talk for days on a subject and listen for days. And it sounds like it's pretty hard to get away from the issues and the pain points on both sides. I think I'm going to check it out. And for you that think that's something worthwhile, you might check it out. And I'll report back here later on the Clubhouse and how it all works, or at least that's my intentions. My intentions are to save the whole planet. So sometimes that takes more time and energy than I've got. But this is the Ancient Texan on a Saturday, commenting on a few news issue. Hope you have a good weekend. This is the Ancient Texan. Namaste.